Hey guys, GFV here. Today I'll be showing you on how to use the attack jet and fly like a pro.
Now let's go to our menus and go all the way down to the jet buttons and jet sticks. You can see the controller layout and study of this for a bit if you want. As it's the easiest layout I find to use, you'll have a sense of knowledge of how to use this as the right trigger is accelerating, and the left trigger is braking. So it's kind of like a car game, but then you'll be using your sticks to move around, just like a car game as well, but in this case it will be the right stick that you'll be using most often. So let's go ahead and spawn here, and let's view our controls one more time just to make sure we know what we're doing. It's good to know the functions of the jet, because you always want to know what you're doing in it. Because if not, well, let's just say that the attack jet is very devastating, and in the right hands, it can obliterate almost anything in its path. So now let's do a basic maneuver here.
You're going to do a vertical 180 here by throwing your right stick up and throttle, and then stabilize yourself at the halfway point.
Here I'm doing it again just to show you another example of how easy it is. You can use the right stick only to fly, just to get familiarized with that stick, because wherever you point the stick, the right stick, is the direction of where you will be flying. As you can see, this is where I'm using my right stick, to go left by pushing it left, and to go right by pushing it right. And I'm using it, pushing it in a horizontal direction to go sideways. And this is me going up and down, twirling all around, and you'll get used to the techniques, if you will, to flying and combining all these turns and moves.
Let's talk about that left stick. The left stick can only be used to move side to side, and it can't be used to go up and down. It also helps you align to your targets and get a perfect straight. Also, it'll help you make sharp turns, such as these. Now what I'm doing here is I'm throwing the stick that I'm using, which would be the left and the right. Yes, you use them together now. And I'm throwing the left stick to the left and the right stick diagonally to the left. And if I wanted to go right, I would just do the opposite, where I would throw the left stick to the right and the right stick diagonally to the right.
So now let's try flying in a straight circle up and down. So what you're going to want to do is use your control, your throttle, and your stick, and throw those up. You throw your right stick up and you throttle, and then when you start to see the ground, you want to brake, also still holding that right stick up. Make sure you don't let go of that stick, because if you do, chances are you'll go too far into the ground, and when you try to pull up, you'll just end up crashing. So what you want to do is control your speed also. If you feel like you're going too fast into the ground, hold the LT button.
And then when you start to pull up, you can slam on that throttle and you'll be up in the air again.
So now let's talk countermeasures. You're in the game, you're flying pretty well, then there's that pesky anti-air in the back, which will be that little, let's say the anti-air is that blue icon. So you're flying and he's shooting at you, it's kind of annoying, he's hitting you from time to time with those 20mm, but you say, hey, I want to try getting at this guy. But here's the thing. What you want to do is strafe him a bit, and you want to make sure that if you're using ECM jammers, you pop those before you get to him. Because if not, then he can shoot you with his active air, and when you're hit with those and you're flying towards the ground, you're pretty much going to die. If you have flares, I would recommend that you stay away at a safe distance, strafe them a bit, and if you have any JDAMs, if you have any, guided missiles or Hydra rocket pods, those would be very helpful. But going towards an anti-air without ECM is a very bad idea, because he can see you on the minimap at all times if you're not ECM'd. What ECM allows you to do is disappear from the minimap for a short period of time, and it also disables his ability to lock onto you, which is pretty cool. But beware, the ECM jammers are kind of broken still. You can pop them off and still have missiles chasing you, and sometimes it will hit you.
And I gotta say, it's pretty frustrating. Let's just hope that in the next Battlefield game, DICE doesn't screw up the ECM jammer so we can actually have a dependable, working ECM jammer. And let's go over the fundamentals of speed control.
You can find this speed when you're in first person in the jets, on the top left in a little green box. The number will change when you turn. As you can say, let's pretend that you're in a jet yourself. Gravity is sort of present in this game. Velocity, yada yada. When you turn, your speed will decrease. When you are going straight to the ground, since you're such a heavy object, it will increase, and when you pull up, it will decrease again. So when you're pulling up, you want to make sure you're going full throttle, and when you're going down, you want to make sure you're braking at the appropriate moments. So that little reticle you have in the middle is where your bullets will always go. But unless you're turning, you will have to compensate for any sort of bullet drop. As you can see, as I move my jet left, my bullets drag. It's basically like a giant flying plane that shoots sniper bullets. So you will have to compensate in time where your bullets are going to go. They will always usually be grouped around together, but here's an example of shooting an anti-air. If you keep your crosshair over him, most of the time they're all going to hit, but the jet does have a bit of spread, but it does have a very small area of effect and usually will hit its target. J-damming is crucial when you want to knock something out for sure. To J-dam, all you have to do is have that little tiny cursor on the minimap when you're using the J-dam, the minimap provided inside of your jet. You want to make sure you have that white crosshair over your target and you drop it at the precise moment. You always have to compensate, always, for that bomb drop if that vehicle is moving.
And try to get a 50 vehicle hit damage with that strafe run, so when you drop the J-dam, it's an instant kill. And it's pretty simple as that. With the J-dam, you can do many awesome tricks with this thing. You can fly sideways, and you can drop that J-dam. You can fly upside down, even, and use that J-dam. But that takes some skill, and it's really hard when you're flying upside down, because, well, I fly into the ground all the time, and I still have to get used to that. But when you're flying down close to a tank, and you want to hit this guy and not get shot down, what I usually do is I have my jet going at a sideways angle towards him. First I strafe him a bit, you know, make sure he has no extra protection, blah blah blah, and then I drop that J-dam, and usually they miss their shots, allowing me to escape with the kill. So I also wanted to mention the spring patch that came out recently, and this affected the attack jets greatly. That affected the damage that the 30mm does to air vehicles, and it's going to be really hard when you're trying to shoot that little bird down and that thing is still overpowered as it is. And don't even mention that 10 out of 10 times there's going to be someone repairing that thing. It's kind of an unfair fight now. But regarding the turn radius, it used to be as much as the stealth jet, but they changed that, so now the attack jet is more clunky, more heavy. It really sucks because we don't have that maneuverability anymore, especially in those dogfights where they were needed most. And we have to depend on those stealth jets a little bit more. Well, depending on people, kinda sucks also. So this sums up on how to fly the attack jets, and if this video helped you in any way whatsoever, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.